So, Riansh, where are we today?
We are at Tadoba National Reserve, or Tadoba Tiger Reserve, as they call it,
Hmm.
TATR,
Hmm.
which is in Nagpur, Maharashtra. And it's one of the most famous forests for tigers at the moment, because
Correct.
the tigers over here are so bold that they, even when the females have cubs,
Hmm.
they will come out on the road, they will walk around, even if there's gypsies which are trying to photograph them. They are really bold and they give some amazing sightings. So people who are experiencing wildlife for the first time, I
Yeah.
my suggestion would be that this is the best place to start,
Yeah.
because at least you don't get disappointed. You find the love, you find the excitement, and then suddenly, there's a lot more to the forest, obviously.
That's
But
true.
tigers are always an attraction.
No, man.
You tell me. So, was this your first experience at
Yeah, man.
Tadoba?
This is my first experience at Tadoba, and
Hmm.
specifically, I'll say my first tiger sighting has been at Tadoba. I've been to
Aha.
Ranthambore before, but I haven't had much luck. We
Fair
took two
enough.
safaris, but we just saw like the tail of the tiger, and that was about all. But something about Tadoba has always excited me. I've been
Nice.
always seeing pictures at the Nature's Palette group,
Yeah.
and we saw 18 tigers, and we saw 10 tigers,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
15
Yeah.
tigers. So I was
That's
very
true.
much looking forward to this trip, and thank you so much for inviting me
It is a
and making
pleasure.
this happen. But yeah, I mean, this is something about the tigers. I
Yeah.
think it's just something about the big cats in general
Mm.
that excites me. The same isn't the is it it isn't the same with other animals, or for an instance dogs. Like
Hmm.
when dogs were still the ancestor dogs, you call it the
Yeah.
jackals, the wolves, and all of them, they got domesticated really a lot.
Hmm.
And comparatively looking at the number of population of the wolves or jackals or the hunting species of
Hmm.
the dog family, they aren't much dominant. But when you look at the cat family, everyone's very excited to see all the big cats, be it the leopard, be it the
Interesting.
cheetahs, be it the tigers or the majestic lions.
This raises a question in my head, though. There
Hmm.
is so much wildlife in the forest, right?
Hmm.
Insane amount of wildlife in the forest. There's no limit to it. I mean,
Hmm.
you lift up a leaf and you will find an entire,
Ecosystem.
ecosystem under it.
Correct.
Correct. Why cats? What is it about cats, or is it just about, like, historically we've been taught about cats so much since childhood? What is it about cats that really pulls you?
I mean, see, I was always a dog person, okay, and I was
Interesting.
like, who are cats? Like, I don't like cats at all.
Hmm.
But it was in 2021 when I moved in with my very best friend Chaitanya, and he had a cat at that time with him. So his name is Gary. He is currently in the US, and I was very excited to live with him, work with him, and Gary was also one of our roommates, okay.
Right.
So I was like, okay, how bad can it be? They don't do much, so there's like existing.
No
So did
interaction.
that, and I stayed with him for around 3.5 months or so. But that creature just changed my life in a way that I didn't know. I mean, he is a walking soft toy. He's taught me a lot of things if I look
Uh-huh.
back to it. And if I compare it to other species, especially dog, because that's the most common differentiating,
Yeah.
cats felt like a roommate to me. And the way they live their life, that was something that just very surprised me. Like even right now, I'm like wearing a cat,
Fair.
but yeah,
It's
I don't know
interesting.
how to say more.
No,
It's
fair
there
enough. I mean,
within my mind, within my
yeah,
heart, but to put it to
yeah,
words, it's difficult. Why
difficult.
cats? But
No, fair enough. I mean,
yeah,
I'm a bird person more than anything else. I love birds,
correct.
but there is something about tigers, about wildcats
Hmm.
specifically, especially in a forest. Yesterday, you were in another gypsy.
Hmm.
We witnessed this beautiful female walking for almost, let's say, 200-300 meters
Oh yeah.
before she did some scent marking on a couple of trees,
Hmm.
and then she went into the water hole, had some water for like a good 2-3 minutes.
Hmm.
So we had her for an entire 5-ish minutes show, and then she took her own path. But it was very exciting to see that you spend so much time planning the trip. You
Hmm.
spend so much money coming to this place.
Hmm.
You have to go for multiple safaris to be able to witness a tiger.
Correct.
And every safari is almost what, 4 hours
4 hours.
at this
Correct.
stage. So 4 hours you're spending trying to find a tiger with all of the knowledge that you can gather, with so many people involved trying to help you find that tiger.
Hmm.
And that tiger or tigress obviously is coming for a few minutes
Hmm.
and going, and all you need is luck, because
Yeah.
the gypsy behind you or ahead of you has not seen the tiger, and
Correct.
we were the only ones who could witness the whole show,
Hmm.
so
Hmm. Hmm.
it suddenly humbles you down that we don't necessarily need to plan so much for every single thing, and only then can we get the result. Or as they say, you work extremely hard to get a successful result.
Correct.
Maybe sometimes it's just about slowing down, going with the flow, just being there, being at the right time, enjoying what you get.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because sometimes you don't see the tiger, and there's
Yeah.
so much more that you can witness.
Exactly.
So,
That's something that these animals in general have always taught me. Go to a forest, or be it like open plains, grasslands, or rainforest, any of it. Animals are always, staying in the moment. They are like
mhm.
not influenced by their past. They are not thinking about what the future. They are always in the moment,
Yeah.
prepared if there's a predator who's going to be attacking them, or if they have to make a hunt, they need to
Mm.
wait for the right opportunity to pounce on it, grab it, and then move on from that. So that's always something about the forest that's always excited
Yeah.
me, and few things that I've learned from animals. I think we humans have forgot this in the current race of trying to be someone, trying to position ourselves
Mm.
to a certain level or a certain figure, that we've not been staying in the moment as much. We're always trying
That's
to
very
achieve
true.
something, be something, do something. No
That's
one
very true.
wants to just stop, catch a breath, and just exist, just be.
That's super deep, man. And
Yeah.
honestly, fortunately, at a very early age, I had realized a very similar thing, that
Mm.
everything that we've uh, developed as
Mm.
human beings, which is
Mm.
different from an animal,
Mm.
is completely based on storylines. Like when you think about it, if we could not communicate with one another
Right.
more than expressing emotions, for example,
Mm. Mm.
we would not have been in such deep mental, physical problems. Like
Mm.
communication or expression, in my opinion, is one of the base issues as well. Being
Right.
able to have a language, being able to communicate stories,
Mm.
because the past is a story, the future is a story, but the present is the only moment that actually matters to you. I
Correct.
mean, a lot of people say that, but when you
Mm.
look at animals, think about it. We saw the deer, right?
Right.
The tiger was not very far away from the deer.
Mm-hmm.
The deer didn't care. It was just grazing. It had probably seen some other deer in its lifetime getting chased, hunted, and eaten by the tiger. But
Mm-hmm.
it did not care. It was just feeding. Now, let's say hypothetically, another story, but hypothetically,
Mm-hmm.
which I've witnessed before though, but just putting it in your head, what if that deer was chased by the tiger? It was saved. I
Mm.
mean, it outran the tiger. The tiger left the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next thing that the deer would start doing?
Stay away from anything that looks similar to a tiger.
No, that's fear. It doesn't understand fear that much. It would just
Mm.
start grazing again. It
Mm.
does not care. So what if, kya hoga, what happened? Oh my God,
Yeah,
traumas. Nothing happens to these animals, right? I am
interesting.
saved, done. Food right there. Focus on the food.
Uh,
So that's something that you can really pick up from the animals, that our traumas, our fears, everything is a storyline. I'm
mm,
saved. In the next moment, why shouldn't I start grazing? The
correct.
tiger's already left the hunt. When it comes next, we'll see.
Yeah,
Why now? Why worry about it anymore?
correct. I think for
So,
us humans, it's always that every suffering that we have right now, being a craving, be it an
hmm,
aversion, a liking, a disliking, love towards something, or hate towards something, it's all self-imposed, and we
it's
have
all
just conditioned ourselves
absolutely.
through our past, through our upbringing, through our parents, teachers, association in our childhood, that
Hmm,
we weren't aware enough to make wise and sound choices at that moment. So
hmm,
whatever felt right to us, we did that. But
hmm,
growing up, having that, switch of light on and
Yeah.
seeing everything, it's difficult to unlearn each and everything that you've seen in the
Very
past.
true. But it's amazing that we are trying to do it.
Exactly. I think it
Um,
all starts with just knowing that
it's
this is not
necessary.
exactly how you are,
Yeah.
and tracing your step backs to your roots, like where you
Yeah.
came from and what has led to who you are. So who is actually Riyansh?
Yeah.
It's
That's
always
true.
going to be a question.
Yeah.
It's not someone who's your mom and dad have named, or not
True.
someone who's like doing interior design and architectural work,
Yeah.
or someone who's into birding. But deep down, when you think about it, who are you actually?
That you bring up such an interesting topic because every time I'm in a business networking event or I meet a new person,
Mm,
they ask me for my introduction. I introduced myself as an architect to them,
mm, mm.
and then eventually when I start talking, I introduce the whole wildlife sector that I've always been interested in. I've always been exploring. I kid you not, at least more than 70% of the people would have gone, why did you say you're an architect first? Like, this is
Yeah,
what you're supposed to say. You're into wildlife, you love nature. Everybody cares about your hobbies more than your passion in terms of career.
correct.
So, even your career, if it's somehow related to your hobbies or your deep rooted passion where you
Mm,
really
mm.
want to do something for the world, that is what people want to know.
Yeah.
And that's something, again, something very interesting that the forest always teaches us. But
Mm,
I want to ask you a question though. We've been for 4 safaris now. We're done with
correct.
our last one.
Correct.
We've had some amazing sightings,
Mm.
about what, 7 tigers as a group.
Yep.
And it's been a great experience in general, just going into the forest in the morning, in the afternoon, coming back, always satisfied regardless of whether you've seen a tiger or not.
Hmm.
What is that one learning, just instinctively, that you picked up from this particular trip? What's the first thing that
Uh,
comes to your head?
Patience. I think that's
Fair
something
enough.
that's always I've practiced upon. And for me, I saw this on YouTube. It was
Hmm.
by a guy named Om Puri, and he talked about like the four pillars of spirituality. If I'm able to recall them correctly, I'll try it. First of it was you meet everyone for a reason.
Hmm.
Uh, the second one was, things happen the way they're supposed to, not in any other way. The third one being, when the time is right, it'll just happen at that time. It won't happen before, it won't happen after. And the fourth one is, what's done is done. You gotta
Hmm.
let go, you gotta move on. Keep holding on, you're just going to create more suffering for yourself.
Fair enough.
So patience is just knowing something that what's for you will come to you. But if you
Hmm.
keep chasing things, it won't come to you because you don't have enough space within you to attract that thing. So once you stop chasing things, you pause,
Nice.
you start observing yourself, you're able to let go of the other things that don't actually matter, all your
Fair enough.
past karma, be it anything. So once that starts fading off, getting eradicated, you're making more space within yourself, and you have better energies. You're attracting the thing that are actually supposed to be for you.
Hmm.
Making space helps. So patience, I was like 4 hours, I of course had an hope, I would
Yeah.
say, maybe not an
Yeah.
expectations
Always.
as expectations hurt. I'm like hope कि हाँ चलो कुछ तो देखने मिलेगा, कुछ तो
Yeah.
देखने मिलेगा, कुछ तो सीखने मिलेगा. But no, that's been nice. I mean, I'm very happy with what I saw. Of course, there's always a craving for more. But
Always.
the thing is that I'm okay if I get to see it, and I'm okay if I don't get to see it. So
Right.
it's not like I don't have that craving or I don't have that chase within me that I want this thing.
Hmm.
But no matter what the outcome, I'm still satisfied. It's not letting me control, it's not letting the situation is not controlling me,
Fair enough.
the
Fair
outcome
enough.
of the situation.
Yeah.
So this was just something around the 4 safaris. I'm like, okay, I saw this. I'm like, okay, we saw a sambar deer. Okay, we saw a kingfisher. I'm like, that's
Great.
okay. So
Nice.
that was something that I felt. How about you? How was the safari experience for you? You're coming here after
Yes.
9, 10 years, 11 years, I think,
No, no. So
2013.
I've been here 2 years ago itself.
Okay.
But then before that, other forests. Tadoba has been a while.
Okay.
Um, But I think every time the forest always teaches me about love for sure.
Mm.
And that love is not anything to do with the kind of definitions that we've got in our heads.
Yeah, they are all
Um,
just surface
it's
level.
so much
Yeah.
more. Like everything depends upon another thing to be able to survive. And that understanding that love, obviously, we put it in a very superficial way when we
Mm.
say understanding.
Mm.
It's much more than understanding, it's survival for them. Every species of plant, animal, even materialistic things like
Mm.
soil and everything, right? It's all a medium for life.
Correct.
And love has always been a very important part of everything that I think about, I do. But this time I think there was something different. We heard a story from a guide who had come. You know him. He's very good at mimicking voices.
Yeah.
But then there was this one particular thing that he said about kingfishers, which I really
Mm.
liked, and I
Mm.
observed very closely today itself, which was that they are extremely focused.
Mm.
And the entire lake or pond, whatever you want to call it, is filled with fishes, but it
Mm.
has to catch only one because it needs only one to fill its tummy, or multiple, but at one hunt it only has to catch one.
Focus on one thing.
So all you got to do is focus on one, make it the most perfect situation for you to be able to hunt it, and that's it. And
Mm.
that's literally something that we can focus on in our lives as well. I mean, in terms of an aspect,
Mm.
just get the focus right on one particular aspect of your life and nail it, then shift to the next, shift to the next. It's, you never need to limit yourself to just one, it's just a way to say it. But
Mm.
as long as you're clear with your umbrella wish or umbrella passion
Mm.
and you're focused towards it, the medium to getting it can be different.
Mm.
So the kingfisher really fascinated me today because that, and it teaches you one more thing, that you don't need more. So
Mm.
don't eat what you don't need, don't
Correct.
hunt what you don't need, leave it for the rest of the rest of the birds, right?
Mm.
So it's something that even we can take forward. And it subtly is also an extended version of love, where you are very much respectful towards the remaining species, remaining life, that you share this world with.
Mm. Mm.
So I think we should not be greedy. We should not be very me centric, and
Mm.
it can always be a very collaborative place that we can create, while we're living on this beautiful planet.
No, that's true. I
Yeah,
think the egoistic self of
yeah,
people, that's the thing, man. Half of the world is asleep, as I'd
yeah.
like to put it.
That's
It's
true.
not a lot of awakened souls
That's true.
here, but you know one when you see one. There's a instant connection that
Yeah,
things just like you don't like you talked about understanding, right? So when you meet that person, it's like you don't have to explain things to them, and
very
on a
true.
very bottom level they just understand because there's a deeper meaning of life about the existence that they always think about you know
Yeah,
so it's good. So talking about love, you read the book Only Love Is Real, right? So tell me a little bit
yeah.
more about that book. Yeah.
Well, Only Love Is Real was powerful.
Yeah.
I cannot express it enough.
Of
Only Love Is Real was really powerful, by Dr. Brian Weiss.
mm-hmm.
The one thing that I understood, or the one thing that he's always been expressing, is that love is the only energy that can actually run the world in a harmonious way.
Mm.
Coming back to animals and combining that with this book, when you think about it, what one thing that I understand from looking at nature closely in the perspective of love, in the perspective of service, giving
Mm.
more to others, I think we've still defined service as a very weird aspect in our lives. We think that we should not be thinking about ourselves, thinking about beyond us, um, all of that. But then when you look at animals, they are not thinking about anybody else but themselves,
Correct.
but they're still doing more harmonious actions compared to human beings. And we are trying to teach ourselves to live beyond ourselves. We
Mm.
don't need to. We just need to be perfectly selfish in terms of doing what we need, getting what we need. That way, you automatically leave stuff for the others to
Mm.
take. The problem with our selfishness is that it is based on others' expectations and others' wish from our lives.
Mm.
So I think if you can nail the aspect of being perfectly selfish in the right way, you are more selfless than any other being on this planet. And that is something that even Only Love Is Real really aligns with. That, when you are focused on your love, making yourself feel super content, the other person who you meet, if she or he is focused on making themselves feel super content, both of y'all will suddenly align so much, y'all will
Hmm.
not need anything more, and everything that y'all generate together will be for everybody to grasp.
Correct.
So I think it's super important to think of it that way, where you're not just forgetting about yourself. I think keep yourself in the center,
Hmm.
but make sure that you're only taking what you need in every aspect, materialistic or emotional.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, this safari was great. I think this trip was amazing. I've loved to have my friends over, joining me. Would you want to keep exploring forests again?
Yeah, I think there was a good time when I was out in the forest, out for, longer treks or
Yeah,
hikes around the mountains in Mumbai. But some things with work, career, I think I
fair
got
enough.
consumed by the external world a lot. And
Yeah,
I forgot
always.
those roots that they still existed. And I think this trip helped me just rediscover those roots.
Perfect.
So
That's
it's
perfect.
going to be a new beginning of the journey. So let's see where
Amazing.
this leads.
We've got a lot more to record than
Yes,
every
sir.
time.
Yes, sir. But good. I
Perfect. That
think we
was
had a
amazing.
good
Yeah,
conversation. Uh,
great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's good.
Amazing.
The first podcast.
Yeah.
Finally, after
Yes.
like 2 years, we've
Of
been planning to
discussions.
meet for 2 years actually,
Yeah.
and we never got the time. I think
Yeah.
one fine day we met at Mastermind,
Yeah.
and we were like, "Chalo, ab kar hi lete hain." We've been trying to discuss together for work what we can do
Yeah.
together.
And we've never had the setup. Every time we've just met, we've
Yeah,
had deep conversations and then regretted that, oh, we should have recorded this.
I know.
But then I think this is great. This
I
is
think
great.
it's a good beginning. Good.